Well, hello and welcome to another Daily Dominion, back on schedule, unfortunately with a little later upload relative to the unlocking time. But yeah, I cannot upload in the morning due to my work. But anyways, we have a base and Rising Sun Kingdom, much akin to what we faced in the Rising Sun campaign just a week ago. But here, this kingdom, yeah, I don't know, it kind of lacks something that we would like to see. If you can spot it, then you're probably a medium or advanced Dominion player. Yeah, we have these 10 cards here, one of the most powerful cards in Rising Sun and even in the game, Daimyo, which is a throne room variant allowing you to have +1 card and +1 action, and then double play any non-command card in this stack. So if you play 2 daimios, you triple play the next action non-command card, and that's super powerful. Now, we wouldn't want to miss out on that, so we'll probably go for a few of them. They cost 6 debt and are still a bit underpriced. But yeah, apart from that, we have strong trashing in both River Shrine and Chapel. We have a bit of attack and bandit, where you can trash your opponent's silvers and golds and gain golds yourself. We have some cycling and cellar. Artists could also be draw. Workshop and gardens is like a base game rush, where you could just hammer in workshops and some gardens and then try to outscore the opponent before they can build a proper deck. I don't think this will work against a simple Chapel Bandit engine, so it's probably not worth it going for that rush here, but it is there. Then we have Vassal for payload, and also I forgot to mention Rice Broker for trashing. Also nice to like trash out your Chapel if you don't need it anymore, because then it will draw you 5 cards. But yeah, if you've paid attention and also seen that progress is a prophecy that just top decks any cards you gain, then you might have noticed that we don't have any plus buy. And this seems to be a theme for those base only or Monday base and some other expansion mixture kingdoms, as yeah, they very often lack the plus buy. I think in a base set there are 2 or 3 cards that give plus buy. I mean, there's Market and Festival, and I'm probably forgetting a third one. Initially, there used to be Woodpecker, but it got replaced in the second edition. Um, so yeah, it's no wonder that we're lacking plus buy. And yeah, not even a maybe plus buy. Now, that leads me to look at the kingdom plot and also discuss what we're going to try to do here. The kingdom plot, well, it says that there's some gains in workshop and bandit, and thinning is strong in chapel and river shrine and rice broker, just what I told you. You can draw here in principle with artist, but it is kind of on the expensive side, especially since you spent like 8 money on drawing, and then what are you going to do with your turn? I mean, you're going to maybe play a few workshops with some daimyos to gain a bunch of stuff, but the best stuff workshops can gain early on are vassals and maybe 1 or 2 sellers as rice broker fodder, but I'm not even sure that's worth it. I don't think so, actually. But yeah, Rice Broker trashing your action cards is another form of draw, but it's also not very strong, given that you have to first play a workshop to gain you the card. So essentially, you draw the workshop, play the workshop terminally, so you spend the terminal action. Then you draw the card, the action card that Rice Broker trashes, and only then you draw 5 cards. I'm not sure that is sustainable here. Also, I forgot, of course, the River Shrine can gain you cards, and River Shrine works very nicely with cards like Daimyo or Artist that you spend some money on and then spend a turn paying off your debt. And then River Shrine can jump in and in your like in your Y phase, you can just pay off the debt and then still gain a card costing up to 4. Now note that this affects stacks, so if we manage to play like 4 daimyos and then a river shrine, we will gain 5 cards if we don't gain any card in our buy phase. Um, and that might be a thing to do. Yeah, I don't know. The plan is going to be to thin down, probably go for a sort of engine that can play daimyo or that plays around with daimyos, river shrine, and vassals. One could also, like, I think there are two viable decks here. One is involving Chapel Bandit and maybe Rice Broker and one or two daimyos, but not too many. And then just big money, hammer in the golds, and go for the provinces as soon as possible. The other deck does the River Shrine stuff, maybe daimyos and vassals. Not too many vassals. A few should be enough, and has a rather lean deck in the beginning and then goes for provinces off of that. Maybe weave in one or two workshops even, so you have the option of pivoting into going for gardens. And early on, you can gain vassals or sellers with the workshops, and maybe you also stick in one rice broker or so. But yeah, it's not super clear to me, and I think also early game shuffle luck, unfortunately, is going to play quite the big role, just because, well, you are kind of relying on finding your chapel early, you're relying on finding your river shrine early, whatever you go for. Then you also have the great option. Actually, let me show you the openings then. You have the great option of opening River Shrine and Daimyo on the 4-3, and if you are shuffling well enough, you might even double play the River Shrine and trash 4 cards just as you would with a chapel, and then gain 2 cards. I mean, that's of course the dream draw, and is probably going game winning already if your opponent has a worse opening. I don't like the 3-4. I think it's the worst opening here. Maybe even a C minus or a D plus. Just because I don't know, Workshop River Shrine is not super exciting. If they collide, then you're in for a very, very sad time. And if they don't collide, well, you're gonna get a vassal along. Maybe even instead of workshop, you just go for a silver or a vassal, and then maybe you have a slightly higher probability of finding a river shrine. And if they collide, it's the same as if workshop river shrine collide. Actually, yeah, maybe I'm tending towards that. It's just annoying that you cannot. Well, I mean, putting in a daimyo in the first shuffle is also not too strong if it doesn't collide with anything, but yeah, I don't know. I would love the 5-2 for a Rice Broker Chapel, but we don't have a luxury, and thus probably are just going for Vassal Workshop. Could also be Chapel River Shrine, but that is not likely to hit 5, and if you go for that kind of stuff, you might want to. Actually, is Chapel River Shrine better? I wonder. If they collide, it's the same. It's just sad times, but if they don't collide, you just thin down much quicker. River Shrine allows you to do vassal stuff while buying to gain vassals while playing daimyos. I might be talking myself into the chapel thingy. Mm. But it's really annoying, and please do not have. Yeah, okay. AI just goes for the same opening. We could buy a daimyo here. Like, it wouldn't be too bad of a thing to do, but maybe I like just gaining uh, a 3-cost card here, such as a vassal or a workshop. We are going to add a daimyo in this shuffle, so probably it wants to be a vassal, just so we have some payload to pay off the debt. And now the last 3 cards are just, it's annoying that the River Shrine misses, but Okay, it's just Daimyo, River Shrine, Vassal, essentially all of our good cards. So I think what we're doing here is we're going to trash 2 cards, then we have 6 cards, and Daimyo is going to draw the... we could even... And Daimyo is going to draw 1 card, and then it's only going to double play the River Shrine, right? Yikes. Hmm. Maybe we need to bank on... I mean, another option is to just trash the estate and have 3 dead, then next turn hope to draw 3 coppers and bottom deck the chapel, which is very unlikely. And this is very annoying. We're probably just going to draw the chapel instead, but I like trying to live the dream, but okay. We cannot add a we cannot add... What am I trying to say? We cannot add another daimyo here, and that would have been really, really good, but oh well. I think probably we're just going to gain either Workshop Cellar or Vassal Cellar, and for now, yeah, it's probably just Vassal Cellar. Next turn, the River Shrine is going to gain us a Workshop. Or we're going to buy a Workshop. Now, we can play the Cellar to discard River Shrine, I guess. River Shrine Vassal, it doesn't matter. Or actually, let's discard the Daimyo. Is that going to help at all? No, we are always going to... we have one too many cards in our deck, actually. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's annoying that we draw the other Vassal. But actually, no, I think I like discarding the Daimyo. Then we can play the Daimyo here and double play the River Shrine. No, but then if we buy a Vassal, I buy a Daimyo here, then... Yeah, I think it's correct to just double play this. Next turn we should double play the Cellar probably. And go for a Workshop. Because if we add a Daimyo now, we're not going to get in the Workshop, right? Or we're saying, okay, for 1 turn we just spend the extraction. Yeah, I think probably just putting in the second Daimyo is better here. And then we just have more flexibility in what we do. If we draw the Vassal, perfect, we can play the Cellar. It doesn't matter what we discard because we would draw it. And decline that. Now we just double play the River Shrine and gain those 2 actions. Don't buy anything. This is probably going to be the end of the River Shrine stuff. And we gain Workshop. We don't have the terminal actions right now. Workshop Cellar or... Probably just Workshop Cellar. And then next turn we can do some Daimyo stuff and buy Daimyo probably. I think that looks alright. Now this Daimyo should just play Vassal, although the Vassal will then double play stuff, and we might not want to play the other daimyo with the Vassal if we were to find it immediately. Exactly. So probably we decline and just play the other Cellar, and then we get to Vassal into the daimyo and double Workshop. I think that's best. It's weird to decline playing a daimyo, but we do not want to triple play this. Probably we would have then triple played the Vassal because it's the next play. Yeah, daimyo stuff gets confusing with cards that play other cards. I'm very sorry for the confusion then. But yeah, we get to Vassal into the daimyo here, Workshop twice for Workshop Cellar, and we may just pivot into a garden strategy actually, and just add daimyos a lot, and then see where we go from there. Like just play daimyo, which can then double play. It's annoying that we haven't found the River Shrine yet. I wouldn't like to play that. Maybe we just discard 2 cards to make it more likely to find the River Shrine. Actually, we can guarantee that exactly, and just play the Vassal, which can play a Workshop, which in turn can play a Workshop. To gain a Workshop, we need to be... I forgot that it would go on top. Ooh, that's actually interesting. Yeah, we can top deck a Vassal here, and we can then just play into the last Workshop. That's very interesting. I didn't consider that. The problem right here is now that we may need to double play this Vassal to gain us... Well, we don't need more Vassal. We probably just want more Workshop, which can gain us more Cellar. And that put a Cellar on top. And now, do we already start provincing here and say, okay, we're building this very weird deck with lots of, well, 3 daimyos and not much else? AI has completely thinned down to a deck of silvers and 1 silver and 2 golds, and a daimyo and vassal. So it, in principle, at this point, could sustain itself for quite a bit. And also, just by adding another daimyo, if we were to try to snipe its golds and silver with bandit, we still wouldn't like completely outrace that. But since it's always top decking the province, I think it is going to have much more problems staying consistent, and also it doesn't have any capabilities of doing extra drawing. So I believe we can just discard a bunch of stuff, probably the Cellar as well, and then daimyo for Vassal, playing Workshop to... We need to be careful a bit to keep an action on top. Probably just Vassal, which is then played immediately. Now this should be a Cellar, so we can play the Cellar. I'm not sure it matters much. Probably discard those Cellars. And what is down there? There's the 3rd daimyo, and sorry, I went through all of this. The River Shrine we've discarded, so it's probably daimyo and workshop, in which case we can just vassal and play either. Oh no, it's that kind of stuff. But this means we can also just daimyo a workshop here to top deck Cellar and maybe even already Gardens. And yeah, why not? And buy the province. And no, this probably was a mistake. Yeah, we might dot here, and it's completely self-induced. I think we need to play this vassal. There are two provinces that we could hit, in which case we would be in for quite the bad time. But yeah, we get to discard a bunch of stuff, gain two gardens, and yeah, we might have misplayed big time. But I kind of believe in our ability to do more of the garden stuff than AI. And also, yeah, consistently hit province, I was about to say, but here we probably don't want to hit province. We just want to, um, yeah, get through a lot of things. Probably put 3 cards back into the shuffle before we do anything else. Do that. Play more vassal. Nice, we get the action back. Decline that. We can play more vassals that play vassals. And now top deck, probably just 2 gardens and a daimyo or an artist. What is more likely to help us out? Probably the artist, actually. We cannot province here. We need to go for the artist. And I forgot that there was... No, this is just really bad. Okay, at least AI duds. And we probably... instead of the gardens, it should have been just a cellar. If we had cellar down there. Oh well. Yeah, let's add another artist, actually. We're lucky that AI dudded there. If we're lucky again, then we might even be able to close it out here. We get to double play the artist, which is incredibly, incredibly valuable. We get to double play this vassal, which probably needs to find good stuff for us. I mean, this is really good stuff. Do we discard or keep the river shrine? I think we discard it as well. Yeah, this is great. Let's keep it at that. We do more. Actually, we can top deck a vassal now and then do like a guarantee, like top deck 2 vassals, then play daimyo and some vassals, and yeah, already our garden's procced up to the next stage, and the only thing we need to do now is hit province, and we will do that by top decking those vassals, playing daimyo vassal, and then oops, the artist is only drawing 1 card here. And already we have so much money that we can just play this last vassal, clear out. Well, we can for sure clear out the gardens that we just top decked to see what is down there. Something else that gives us an action. I'm not sure what the last card it is. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's a workshop and we get to play it. Okay, it's just a province, and we pick up the last gardens, pay off this debt, and then buy the last province and win in a nice way. But yeah, 15 turns is not too fast, I would say. But also we got 8 gardens and we won against a very lean deck with 5 provinces in it. I'm not sure how much more reliably AI could have provinced there, but well, we can see what kind of hand it drew. Okay, we would have had one more turn to draw it out, but it was really important that we did leave those two provinces there and didn't go for a province and rather an artist instead. But what we should have done, instead of just top decking the artist, we should have just top decked the cellar instead of the gardens, because that costs us a whole turn of dudding. But yeah, I don't know. I like this kind of mixture of a deck. It had a lot of capabilities to gain all of those gardens. It was very weird to play. I'm yeah, also realizing that this video is already longer than most, even though it was a single buy kingdom. But yeah, I mean, 34 cards. We could have, or we steadily added a lot of cards with daimyos and workshops. Maybe we went for too many workshops by themselves, and we didn't properly play the progress workshop stuff. But overall, I think it paid off and it was fun. Actually, what I wanted to check maybe was the early turns. AI opened Chapel River Shrine just as we did. And then, okay, for AI also those two collided. But at least AI, yeah, they collided and it could only trash coppers. Okay. So AI was off to kind of a bad start while we had the alright start with River Shrine turn 3, Chapel turn 4, getting thin super quickly. But yeah, at least AI did get to do the thing of gaining a card off of River Shrine while also paying off some debt. But then, okay, drew the Daimyo, played Daimyo, and then it essentially got to double play a Chapel. Okay. That is kind of sad. So AI's early turns, to be fair, weren't the greatest. And yeah, so it probably could go like a turn or two faster, and then our deck would kind of be threatened. But also we had some misplays. I don't know. I like how we navigated this overall. Yeah, I'm blubbering, and you're probably bored already, and thus I'm going to end this one. I'm not sure whether tomorrow I will be able to upload a video as I have volleyball coming up, but if I do, I'll catch you then, and otherwise I'll just catch you in the next one, and until then, goodbye.